Worried that you've missed the AI bandwagon?
Don't be.
AI can be a fantastic tool for marketers when it's used correctly. But you can't use what you don't know. So today we're going to be looking at what AI marketing is and how it impacts you. But before we get to the tools, what is AI marketing? In short, it's the use of artificial intelligence, i.e. robots, in your marketing. In long, the artificial intelligence tools that we're using have been trained on vast amounts of information across the web, i.e. they have read a lot of content, far more than any human can.
So not only will it have knowledge of nearly every topic you can think of, it will also have knowledge of marketing.
So if you ask for information on marketing for a law firm, it won't just return information about law firms and marketing. It will work to combine the two to give you information about law firm marketing. Now, marketers are getting a decent ROI from AI tools, but there are plenty of limitations. So if you expect to just be able to type a few things into ChatGPT and it do all of your marketing for you, you're going to have a sad time. But if you treat it as a tool to enhance your existing marketing activity, you can get some great results. So here's how you can start using AI in your marketing and the best tools to help you out.
Like a little digital assistant.
ChatGPT is probably the tool that you've heard the most about. It's the one that got the most headlines and got most people talking in the marketing space. And it's not just marketing focused, so it has really broad appeal. It definitely has limitations though, including the fact that ChatGPT is only trained on data up to 2021, so it can't give you information about current trends or recent events. The results you get out of it also heavily depend on the sort of prompts that you're giving it. If you ask it a basic question like, write me 5 Google ads for an accounting firm, you'll get ads like this. Fairly basic and obviously not tailored to your business at all. But if you ask it a more tailored question like, I'm doing the marketing for a nationwide USA accounting firm that works with businesses with turnover between $500K and $1 million in the agricultural sector, please write me some Google ads, you will get a far better response like this. Now, it's not perfect. That last one in particular, pretty clumsy, but you can see by how asking a better question, we get a much better response. And by default, ChatGPT produces average responses to average questions, because that's exactly what it's been designed to do. Of course, an experienced marketer will be able to tell what a good response looks like versus an average one, and they'll also be able to tailor their questions to get better output. Now, ChatGPT led Bing to release Bing Chat AI and Google to announce their own AI-powered search. Bing runs off ChatGPT, and to be fair, it has produced some shocking answers, especially if you don't know how to ask it correctly. But it's still a step forward, and it'll be fascinating to see how this impacts organic traffic from Bing and Google. SEO will change as people use chatbot AI more, from the questions that they ask to the responses that they expect to get. We're expecting it to have a similar but more extreme impact to featured snippets.
Why click through to the website when you can read the answer right there in the search engine?
Exactly, and the AI may not even link to the original content that it got this information from, or it might have got this information from a range of different sources, so it's not possible to specifically cite one. Another potential issue is that informational search and top-of-funnel research may happen entirely in the chat interface, meaning less organic traffic going to informational content on websites. This would lead to a corresponding drop in conversions from top-of-funnel traffic. With chatbots like Bing, where their sources are cited and linked in the answer, the SEO goal won't necessarily be to be the first referenced answer, but to provide the best part of the answer. More videos on how to rank for Bing Chat coming soon.
Subscribe to the channel for updates.
We see a lot of people using AI tools wrong, wasting a lot of time and potentially money as well. But here's how to make the most of these tools. Using ChatGPT, we're going to create a service page for a personal injury law firm, starting with some keyword suggestions. Can you tell me 10 keywords a personal injury law firm from the USA based in Texas should be ranking for on Google relating to personal injury law? Now, these are okay, no complaints. We'd obviously need to go and check their search volumes, and we'd also need to think about, are there any other high value phrases that aren't included here, which we cover, which we'd want to make sure are included. But this is a good start. Bing Chat produced similarly generic keywords with less variety than ChatGPT. Bing stuck with lawyer throughout, whereas ChatGPT included attorney in some of the keywords. Now, of course, an experienced marketer is going to know that you don't just want to be targeting lawyer phrases, you're going to want to include some variations in there, things like keywords targeting attorney. All, of course, based on search volume and making sure that this is terminology that your customers are actually likely to use. We can then ask ChatGPT to create a service page outline which includes some USPs.
This outline could be better.
Instead of explaining the services in the first paragraph, ChatGPT chose to use that space to introduce the business. An experienced marketer would have known that if you want to get good results from this page, you need to immediately establish relevance as soon as a visitor lands on it. So therefore, we probably want to talk more about how the potential customer is feeling and establish that bond between their issue and what our service is. That said, this is a good start. You could tweak and refine this. Now, Bing's outline opted to share all the important information about product liability law before moving on to explain why you should choose this firm. Obviously, it's important to have a marketer look over the work that's produced by an AI and make sure it's structuring this in an effective way. Someone looking for law services is going to want to know that this firm actually does the thing that they offer, and that's going to be more important to them initially than the family-owned element, for example. Once they've seen that you offer the service that they're interested in, then they're looking for information about what sets you apart from competitors. But without that initial relevance, you're not going to get them to care about the other stuff. We can then use this outline to write our blog.
But Tim, why aren't we just getting the AI to generate the content for us?
I'll show you why. The content produced by ChatGPT is okay, and it can be used as a guide, but it does tend to be fairly generic. We asked for a friendly, knowledgeable tone of voice, but it's just not quite there. Best way to describe it is basic. The copy that Bing Chat wrote for us was even more basic. We didn't even get the luxury of proper headings like we did with ChatGPT. Now, most AI content, even from GPT-4, requires the attention of someone who is experienced in content marketing or who knows the business really well to get it shaped up, make sure it matches the company's tone of voice, and does the thing that it's supposed to do on that page, i.e. convince and motivate the customer to act. Speaking of experienced marketers, did you know the team here at Exposure Ninja offers a completely free review of your website and digital marketing, done by a human, not a robot. Sorry, AI. Just go to exposureninja.com/review to request yours today. In some cases, if we determine that the free review isn't going to be the most useful thing that we can do for you now, we might give you some advice, we might give you some other help or assistance or some training, whatever's relevant for you, but you get it all at exposureninja.com/review.
So, how does AI handle writing longer pieces of content, like a blog?
Let's try it with an example about dentistry. Google makes any content about your money or your life work extra hard to get that ranking, and putting out incorrect information could lead to a drop in ranking for your whole website. Most of these AI tools can be a confident liar at times, so the risk of putting out information is higher than if you're working with an experienced marketer that actually understands your industry. So it's really important to fact check any information that you're going to be publishing that's being produced by AI. Let's start with some keyword research. The goal here is to answer some common questions that people have about going to the dentist. By specifying here that we want questions and not individual keywords, the AI is going to give us the sort of content that can work much better in blog posts. The questions that Bing Chat returned are actually pretty solid. Lots of good questions that we can see from the references are being covered by experts in their field. ChatGPT returns similar results. Let's ask it to use number 8 to create an outline. This outline is pretty solid. One thing that did catch my attention was that the AI named nitrous oxide and sedatives and IV sedation. Now, this is the sort of thing that you would need to double check. Getting this wrong could cause unhappy customers and potentially might lead to Google putting you on the naughty step. And it's cold out there. Like with the service page copy, we can also use the AI to try and write content for us.
Unless it's Bing, then it will tell you no.
ChatGPT wrote our blog for us, but it did need prompting halfway through to continue its work. If you're writing longer content using AI, then we typically do this by asking it to write in sections. That way you don't get stopped partway through due to character limitations. Now, looking through the blog, we run into a few challenges. First is checking the stat GPT cites from the Oral Health Foundation. With Bing Chat, you have the benefit of being able to visit the page Bing has used to get that stat via the references. You don't get that in ChatGPT. But using a site search, the data from the Oral Health Foundation actually says that 1 in 8 suffer from extreme dental anxiety, not 1 in 10. And the article is from 2014. This data could be outdated. Now, it's unlikely that a human marketer would ever reference a piece of data that old.
It's only a small error though.
Yes, in this case, it's a fairly small error that won't have massive impact on the reader, but you can see the sort of thing that it's prone to getting wrong. There may be situations where you have such a deep knowledge about your topic that you find it difficult to simplify it down for an audience with less knowledge. AI can be great at taking content and rewriting it for a different audience. Let's say that you want to make it easier for parents to explain the process of getting fillings for their children. Now, not only was Bing Chat able to explain it in a way that a child could understand, I could also get it to give a response that a parent could use to put their child at ease. Of course, it's always a good idea to run this response past other people, in this case parents, to make sure that it resonates. But this is a great start for writing for an audience that maybe you don't naturally resonate with. We can use the AI to help us promote the blog too, starting with the metadata. When asking the AI to generate page titles and meta descriptions, it's a good idea to give it character limits, otherwise it can get a little carried away. ChatGPT did get a bit messy when returning the results, but it managed to keep within that character limit.
Bing Chat's answer was something else.
It even included other brand names in the suggested titles, which is another example of why you must check this work. Obviously, it's a total washout to publish something like this. You wouldn't want to be optimizing your website for somebody else's brand name unless you were doing a competitor shootout page, but that's not what this is. So it does look like in this case it was just straight up stealing from other websites, which is really not good. We may also want to promote this new blog via email. Now, the basic email it produced is a bit boring, so we can ask the AI to rewrite it in a more conversational style. I've got to be honest, the subject line it produced here was very weak, but of course we can ask the AI to rewrite it, and it's not going to take that feedback personally, we hope. Again, I included character limits so it doesn't make things too long. ChatGPT produced some pretty click-worthy subject lines. The preview lines are a bit wordy, but with some human intervention, I reckon we could get these as good as these subject lines. This blog post could also be a decent video, so let's get the AI to write a script for us. Again, the AI makes a good start, but it doesn't necessarily include ideas for how to film the video, the shots you can use, the types of B-roll footage, the music, the on-screen text. It just did exactly what it was told to and created a simple script, which is totally fair enough. But obviously you'd still need an experienced marketer to turn this from a script into a video that actually worked and retained viewers. Now the same goes for social posts. I asked it for ideas and it gave me the copy I could use to go with the social posts rather than the ideas for the types of posts that I could make. Now obviously if you asked a human marketer to come up with ideas for social content, it would take a bit longer, but that person would probably go and have a look at other social content which has performed well, got a lot of engagement, or brought traffic. They would then come up with ideas which are based on the ideas that they saw working really well on social already, and take inspiration from effective captions and hashtags that seem to be popular. So whilst the AI does a good job of coming up with something, and quickly, it's not necessarily the sort of thing that's going to get really strong traction.
So, what about PPC?
Now, if you want to use PPC to drive traffic to a particular page, you can take the content off that page, pop it in the AI, and ask it to create ads based on that copy. Because Bing is connected to the internet, you can just paste the URL straight into the chat window and ask the questions that you want. But with ChatGPT, you do need to copy and paste the content from that page because it can't access the internet. I did have a minor panic for a moment here as it seemed that Bing wasn't going to read the link and just wanted to tell me all about PPC ads. But then it generated some decent ideas for ad campaigns around CT scanners, so all was well in the world. I also gave ChatGPT the copy from the page and asked it to come up with some ideas. Then I asked it to generate some headlines and ad copy based on idea 1. It actually came up with multiple headlines and descriptions for each ad, totally unprompted. I also asked it about potential audience demographics for these ads, and what it produced was an example of the importance of human intervention. Now, ChatGPT did well for the most part until it suggested patients. I highly doubt that patients are looking to buy a CT scanner so they can do their own scans at home. So reminder, in case we haven't mentioned, don't take AI suggestions at face value. You always have to interrogate them and use a human who understands both the topic and how to market to make sure that this thing actually makes sense.
AI is a tool, not the rule. What else can we use AI for as marketers?
One of the best ways to use AI is to process lots of information. Let's say that you've got a new product launch coming up and a PDF landed in your inbox with all the information that you need 5 minutes before a meeting. Well, you could just stick the copy from that PDF into the AI and ask it for some bullet points of the most important information that you need to take into that meeting. Of course, you're going to have to use your brain and use caution. If one of the bullet points it gives you is the time that the thing was sent or the URL of the PDF, you're not going to spout that off like an idiot. Another way that you can use AI is to have it update old content. Let's say you've just worked with an agency like Exposure Ninja and you've got some shiny new brand guidelines and tone of voice. Well, you could give the AI this new tone of voice and it could then go and rewrite your existing content in that new tone of voice. You could either paste examples directly into the AI, or if you're using Bing Chat, obviously it can go on the website, so you can just paste your URL in and it can do the rewriting for you there. Of course, this will only work if you have an example of your tone of voice beyond little words like playful and informative. Now, unfortunately, Bing wouldn't even rewrite the blog for us.
That's rude.
But it did offer some handy tips and an example of how to rewrite the first paragraph. It also consoled us with the suggestion that it could give us feedback on our rewritten blog, which is handy. ChatGPT did rewrite the blog for us and, to be fair, did a decent job of matching the tone of voice. It included some more conversational sentences such as, "It's easy peasy," and there you have it, folks. Hello, fellow human. Hi, fellow kids.
How do you do, fellow kids? What?
Now, I wanted to see if I could push the AI a bit further, so I asked it to make the content even more playful and humorous. And it did an alright job. Now, from experience, it tends to put jokes in weird places and try a little bit too hard to match the instructions that you've given it, but given that this is just a starting point and there's going to be human intervention, this is a time saver. It does kind of have a habit of sort of trying a bit too hard and adding buzzwords for the sake of it and stuff, so be on your guard for that. Now you should have an idea of how to use AI in your daily marketing work to make your life easier. But the most important thing to remember about AI marketing is this: don't take what the AI gives you at face value. Yes, it's advanced, yes, it's convincing, but it isn't always right. Now, of course, one thing that the AI can't do is build you a tailored strategy based on your business, your competitors, your market, and your specific opportunities. But this video shows you exactly how to do that. So how do you come up with a custom digital strategy that is bespoke to you? Go and watch this video and find out, and I'll see you next time.